If the state of Michigan shuts down because we don't have a budget bill passed, here is what would happen to public schools. Under Michigan's Constitution, Article 8, Section 2, there is a requirement to maintain a system of public schools. K through 12 education is constitutionally mandated, while other services are not. Where does all that funding come from? The school aid fund was established under Article 9, Section 11, and certain tax revenue, including sales tax, income tax, use tax, lottery, are automatically dedicated to the school aid fund. Because that revenue is earmarked, that money will continue to flow into the SAF, the school aid fund, even if the legislature doesn't have a budget passed. But here is the catch 22. In order to disperse that fund, the actual disbursement requires the appropriation from the legislature. The state treasury cannot cut checks to districts without a appropriation, such as a bill or a continuation resolution. So if a shutdown occurs and there is no appropriation in place, payments to schools will be delayed. Michigan did have near shutdowns in 2007, 2009, and 2019. However, lawmakers came together to ensure that there would be no interruption in school funding because it would violate the constitutional requirement and it would create a massive chaos for all the school districts. So in the past, the legislature has always prioritized passing a temporary appropriation or a continuation budget to keep schools funded. If the legislature fails to do that this year, schools will technically remain open because some school districts have their own cash flow and reserves, or some will be forced to borrow money. However, many of them will face shortfalls. School districts are already upset because they don't know what kind of money they are going to get from the legislature if and when we do pass a budget. Many school boards across the state of Michigan have already passed resolutions urging the state of Michigan to pass a budget and not include that school aid budget with any other negotiation. What Republicans are doing is they're taking $5 billion out of the state general fund and putting it towards their road plan. So when you hear them talk about how they have a road plan without raising taxes, that's because they're taking money from the general fund that could potentially be going into the school aid fund. If we don't have a state budget or a school aid budget, both of those budgets would be impacted because there's general fund dollars from the state budget that goes into the school aid fund. That is to help supplement. There's an increase in costs. There's a need to pay teachers more. There's a need to pay for healthcare, pensions, all of these other things, transportation, at risk, and all of these other things that need to be funded. And the school aid fund is simply just not enough to fund our schools. So there is money that comes from the general fund that flows into the school aid fund. And what Republicans are trying to do is take from the general fund because they know that constitutionally they can't take away from the school aid fund. So there you have it. Share this video, save it, comment at least 5 words, and double tap to like it. Your engagement helps to get this message out to other Michiganders.